Please, can you kindly unmute your mic? Mute your mic, please. Please mute your mic. So as you can see, we have started. So good evening, everyone. So before we officially begin, I would love to confirm if you can hear me. Please, can you hear me?
Yeah,
yes,
you're
we
audible.
can hear you.
All right, please. There are a lot of people joining, so let me accept them. So good evening, everyone. Graduate youth project. So before we dive in, let's take a quick moment for some technical and spiritual check. So first of all, make sure your SIMs are full of data in case your network has poor connection. Secondly, keep your power bank close by in case of low battery, because I'm sure you're going to have a lot of value to dish out tonight. And thirdly, let's all pray that our village people are nowhere nearby tonight, because we don't want them to cooperate with NEPA and service providers to see that this great session failed. With that being said, let's get started. And on the excellent and uninterrupted session, I am Yasir Sanusi, and I'm going to be your moderator on this session. So it's a pleasure to have you all here. So once again, good evening, everyone, distinguished guests and fellow students from within and outside ABU Zaria. On behalf of the Nigerian Economics Students Association, I warmly welcome you all to the project writing workshop. This is truly one of its kind and a platform designed to guide students on how to carry out an excellent undergraduate research project. This session is all about helping us to understand what makes a research project stand out, from choosing the right topic to organizing your chapters to collecting quality data and presenting your findings with confidence and clarity. But before we proceed, let's hear a brief remark from our NESA president, Matthew Popola. You are welcome, sir.
Thank you so much, Yasir. You. So first of all, I want to welcome everybody else, and I want to appreciate us for coming. Thank you so much, and I'm assuring you all that our speakers, we make sure that there are people that is why we can bring them on to present to you all. And I'm assuring each and everybody that it's going to be worth your time and everything. So I hope you all have a very nice session. Thank you so much. Yes, you can go ahead, please.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. President. So, a quick note. I know you guys have noticed that we created two Google Meet links because of the session will only last for 1 hour. So, I created two links. So, if we have anything unsaid, we can actually join the second link to continue. So, with that, let's delve in properly into the session and let me introduce our speakers. So, our first speaker, is Ms. Safiya Isyaku, who will be taking us through the next phase of this of the first phase of this workshop. She is a first-class graduate from Economics Department and the best graduating student in her set in Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria. She has a strong passion for economics and research with hands-on experience in data analysis, economics modeling using tools like Excel. Safiya has worked on several research projects and internships that helped her sharpen her analytics and problem-solving skills. She also participated in the CFA Research Challenge. She is focused and she represents excellence among young economists. She is currently running her MSc in the same university. Please join me in welcoming Ms. Safiya Umar.
Hello, good evening, everyone. Thank
Good
you,
evening.
Yasir. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Nessa, for choosing me to facilitate this kind of session. But to be honest, let me just have a single disclaimer here. You all know me. You always see me around, so it means I'm still a student like you. So I'm going to share with you what I know to the best of my knowledge, and I'm always open for guidance and support as usual. So before you start, let me just give me some minute. Let me present a slide. Moderator Yasiri, give me permission to share my slide. Can you all see my screen? All right then. So my presentation, my focus of my own presentation is going to be more of a question and answers, because to be honest, I'm not here to be giving you what you guys have already learned in class. So on that note, I want to start by saying I'm Safiya Isyaku, as you all know. Together with me is Ibrahim Tajudeen, who has been my co-presenter, I think, right from 200 level. We have been presenting all together. So here today we are just going to walk you through the research process. That is from chapter one. This is the outline of our presentation. I'll walk you through the introduction, literature review, and methodology, while he will take you through results presentation, conclusion recommendation, as well as ethical use of artificial intelligence in research, which I believe all of us are using AI, but there is an ethical way of using it. And the fact that you, next generation, your NYC, are going to present your research. So on that note, you should take care of using all plagiarism check and artificial intelligence. So firstly, what is a research? Research is an organized and systematic way of finding answers to questions. Research is organized in such a way there is a structure or method in going about doing it. Because research has a specific scope and limitation. Because there is no way you are going to have chapter 6, chapter 7 in your research. It has to be chapter 1 to chapter 5. Research is used as a basis of knowledge. It's just a building block where a researcher is expected to build upon something. That is where the literature review comes in. So, in that regard, if you really know now we have heard what research is all about, we're trying to find an answer to a given question. This question can be a hypothesis, this question can be just a question. So, for us to start a research, we need to have a topic because you cannot just say, okay, you are going to research on what are you going to research. Your first guideline is your topic. How do you come up with a topic? Without boring, because I told you it's more of questions, so let me just give you a review so that I can give you space to ask more questions. So that's okay. Can you hear me? Can someone
Yes, we
confirm?
can hear you.
All right.
Yes.
So please, can you get a piece of paper, because this one is not all about digital. I want you to have a piece of paper and jot these questions. This should be your guideline in choosing a topic. There are 4 key questions that you ask yourself in coming up with a topic. Number 1 is the topic clear and focused? This is whereby, okay, is my topic clear? The moment you read the headline, like the moment you read the topic, is it clear? Is this something that from the topic I know, okay, this is where you're heading to, or it's too grammatically jam-packed, too technical? It has to be simple and specific, and it has to be focused. You have to know, okay, this is a specific place I want to research on. For example, you cannot just come up with a topic that, okay, the relationship of let me see, you just want to know the Nigerian economy. Like, that cannot be your research topic because it's too broad. Nigerian economy is encompasses different the different sectors. So you cannot just take that one to be your topic. It can never be. It's too broad. For it to be specific, you have to say, okay, the agricultural sector in Nigeria, the agricultural, you want to investigate the relationship of agricultural sector in the Nigerian economy. That one is specific, it's clear. Everyone knows, okay, this is where you're heading to. So number 1 question is the topic clear and focused? Number 2, are there available data and literature? Because one funny thing about academic research is you just need to have a backing. You cannot be, even if you are the first person to talk about that thing, you have to make reference to people that have not talked about it. You must have a reference. You must build upon somebody's work. That is where we said research is a building block where you are expected to add something on the existing knowledge. So you just ask yourself, are there relevant data and literature that will guide you in your research? Then the next question is, can I test it using a model or hypothesis? Is the topic testable? Because there are some topics that, how can you just test Nigerian economy? From where are you starting? How many data sets are you coming up? Which model are you using? Like, it will take you forever before you gather all the data and stuff like that. So can you test it? Is the topic testable? Then the last one is, does it address a real economic or social issue? Because there are some topics that even you yourself, you'll be like, what sense does it make? How can you just say this is a topic? What, like, you're wasting your time. That was a topic I saw. I was wondering, what is the impact? Like, the whole process of the research, what is it adding? Most of the times, those kind of research are coming from comparative analysis, that comparing two things that are not relevant. Like, the finding results to that question will not solve any problem, will not address any economic or social issues. So that one is not a good topic. So if you have these 4 questions and all the answers you have are yes, so you have a good topic, because it will be clear, it will be concise, it will be close-ended, because you know exactly the specific period you are, or the specific sector or background that you are taking, like you are investigating on. So that's a good topic. So in that case, now we have gotten a topic. What is the next thing? One funny thing about research is it's arranged from chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3, chapter 4, chapter 5. But the first one you do is chapter 2. It comes first. Why? Because when you got to your topic, you have to go back to the literature. As I told you that, okay, you must have a backings. It's from that literature you find, from that literature you see sources of data that are related to your topic, finding the methodology that you want to use. Are you with me?
Kaka hear me about? Not the next one, never. I'm not going to call you. I don't.
All right.
Please
So
kindly unmute your mic.
so you are going back to the literature. That's the first thing you do. As Dan would walk you through all the ethical use of AI, but before then, now that you have gotten a topic, the next thing is literature review. How do you get those literatures? So I told you to get a piece of paper and pen to jot down. You have litmaps.com, Google Scholar, Science Direct, Ecolit, Gestor. All these are sites that you get economic literatures that will guide you in your research. I think the best one I prefer using is for me is Litmaps. It's just a website you can just input the topic. It will show you related journals that you can just go back and download. It's just a software that comes up very easy to find your related journals related to your topic. So now you have gotten your papers. Yeah, I will give you the list. I will give you the list of the paper websites. So now you have gotten the list, or you have gotten your, let's assume you have downloaded your journals. How do you go about it? What is literature review itself? Because now the what we did is coming up with those literatures. So now what is literature review? Literature review simply is the systematic way of understanding what others have done in that area of study. Literature, as the word review, it encompasses your understanding of what others have done in that process. For example, now you want to work on, let's say, let me just be making reference to my project. You want to work on uh, the relationship between PMS price and economic growth in Nigeria. So in doing that, you have to go and get papers that are related to that. When you come, you read through. In the process of reading, you understand the gaps, conceptual gap, theoretical gap, and empirical gaps that you filled in. So what are these gaps? We have conceptual literature, we have theoretical, and we have empirical. Conceptual simply means how you conceptualize a concept in your work. If you can remember, Chocolate used to say conceptualize and contextualize. This is why I do it, because this is where you define what a particular concept mean in your research. Because the definition of many concepts, the definition of a concept in some regions has different meaning. For example, unemployment. If you take unemployment in Nigeria, it encompasses underemployment, underemployment, unemployment. When you check the data, it encompasses all that. When you go to America, they have their own. It's when they say unemployment, it's strictly the data of unemployment. So when you're conceptualizing, you have to say, okay, this is what it means in your work, and this is how you capture it. This is how you measure it in your work. So the next one is theoretical. This is you trying to come up. After reviewing papers, you see, okay, this is the theories that are related, or that your whole topic can be situated on, like can be anchored on. You can review 3, 4, 5 theories. But after reviewing these theories, when we said review, you have to input your own understanding of it. For example, now when you review a particular theory, you can bring the short file of that theory, saying that okay, although it's a good one, but it cannot capture the whole of or the aim of your own topic or your own problem that you want to address. So after reviewing those theories, you pick one as your last paragraph, stating that okay, this is the right theory that you will anchor your work on because of this and that. You get. Then we have the empirical. Empirical simply means something that was tested. Okay, just a review of other people's work. That's empirically something that is tested, is testable with facts and figures. That's empirical. So because I don't want to waste much time, this is just a review of something that you guys have gotten in class, because my interest is for you to ask questions that are not clear. This is not a lecture. So after you have gotten your chapter 2, in the process you have gotten your gap. So after that, you can go ahead and write chapter 1 and chapter 2 and chapter 1, or chapter 2, 1, 2, 3. Mostly this is what you'll be asked to bring as your first submission, and this is called proposal, because you are going to show your chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3. This is the proposal. So if it's accepted, then you will go and do 4 and 5. You finish up your work. So let's just go back to chapter 1. Chapter 1 encompasses 8 things. That is the introduction. Chapter 1 simply means gives you the guideline of the whole work. Okay, this is what the work is going to talk about. This is why and what I am doing in my work. So you have the background of the study. This is the context of your study. Then the statement of the problem. This is more like a motivation, a particular problem that you want to address that prompts you. So yeah, in this item, I don't know like how to put it. The statement of problem is you trying to explain why that particular thing is a problem. So from statement of problem, you got up your questions, because when somebody is reading your statement of problem, it should be able to deduce where you are heading to. Then your question will clarify, okay, from that, this is where you are heading to. These are your questions are clear. Then the objectives. So if these are the questions, so your objective is to solve those questions. You have general objectives, then you have specific objectives. And these objectives are mirror image of your questions. So the way your questions are coming in negative terms, then your objectives are now positive, trying to answer those questions. Then you have research hypothesis. Hypothesis is just a statement that is testable. You have the null hypothesis and the alternative hypothesis. The null hypothesis simply captures the negative terms, while the alternative hypothesis is positive, and your aim is to reject the null hypothesis and to accept the null hypothesis. Then the significance of the study. That's the reason or the benefits of that study that you are doing. Who will it benefit? Will it benefit the government, the private sectors, the student, whatsoever, whoever is going to benefit from the outcome of your research you stated here. Then the scope and limitation. As I told you earlier on, that your topic has to be specific, and research has its own limitation. Okay, you are going to take from so period, let's say from 1990 to 2022. That gap is what you want to address. So the limitation you have in this process, maybe it can be data, access to data. That's why you limit your work, because at that time there is regime shift. It can be anything, but you have to state it because it must have a limitation and scope. Then the organization of this section, sometimes it's called chapterization, is just you trying to state the topics. The chapters, how they are arranged and stuff like that. I think on that note, I will not bombard you so much. You just have, I think we give you access to a copy that you can just see as a guideline. Then we have chapter 3, methodology. And this is where you'll have your research design. Your research design simply means whether it can be based on data, based on techniques, based on the research questions that you want to address. Then conceptual framework. This is where you try to use a schema. It's just a kind of diagram trying to show the linkage between your variables. For example, you want to, for example, like let's just use, yeah, you're in 300 level mostly. So let's just use the ISLM. When there is an increase in money supply holding, let's say, um, money demand, increase in money supply, let's just use that one as a is an exogenous factor. So it will lead to fall in interest rate. Then fall in interest rate would induce investment. Like that cycle. You can just plot it, showing the channel of transmission. That is conceptual framework between your variables. Then theoretical framework. In chapter 2, remember you you have a theoretical review and you pick one theory that you anchor your work on. So using that theory, now you have a theoretical framework. Anchoring on that particular theory that you have chosen, okay, based on that theory, this is the linkage or this is the expected relationship between your variables. Under it, you'll be able to have your model specification. Then model specification sometimes is called empirical framework, whereby you have the
I just saw that the speaker just left the call. I don't know if there is something wrong. Let me confirm, please.
hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, we
Yes, I
can
can
hear
hear
you.
you.
It be like say that your village
Yes, we
people follow
can
me
hear you.
from now. Yasir, please can you project the slides? Yasir,
Yes?
can you please project the slides?
All right, I'm on it.
All right.
Have you projected it? Because I'm having issue for my own end here.
Me is village people that follow me. My system is down. Okay, let me just use my
Subhanallah.
phone and do that.
All right. So after the session, everything she has said will be recorded and be shared with everyone in case you missed. You can share your screen from the phone if that's possible.
Can you
Just
see
hold
my
on. Let me
screen?
share the slide.
Can you see my screen?
Yes, I can see a blank screen here.
Okay. I don't know what is happening. Please share from your own end because I'm not used to using my phone to share screen.
Sincerely speaking, it's quite difficult using phone. I'm trying to share my screen now.
Yeah, I've never tried. Now I'm trying. Ibrahim, can you do that, please? Maybe you are with your system. Ibrahim, are you there? We can't hear you. I think before then, let me just continue because I guess we don't have much time. Where was I? When did you guys lost me?
I can't recall actually.
Anyone on the call?
Chapter 3, chapter 3.
On the
Model
research methodology,
specification.
research design.
Model specification.
Okay. All right then. Model specification, as I was explaining earlier on, is that this is you trying to use what is it called, mathematical form to express the relationship. That is a functional form. Then there is econometrics form. You have to state it in two forms. The first one is mathematical form, just like let's say demand is a function of price, taste, and income and other things. That's just a functional relationship. Then you come and specify it as a econometrics term. That is the econometrics specification, whereby you have, okay, yes, demand is a function of price. You attach parameters to all these variables. Let's see, like let me just explain. I will give you something that you can just see the picture. Yeah, then you have the parameters attached to it for each. That measures the magnitude or the significance of that variable on the dependent variable. So the next thing is you having a priori expectation. A priori expectation is based on chapter 3, please, is based on the relationship, theoretical relationship that exists between the variables. For example, we know that the higher the price, the lower the quantity demanded. Now let's say demand is our dependent variable, then the price is our independent variable. So now the parameter of price is going to have a negative sign because the higher the price, the lower the quantity demanded. Like this is the a priori expectation. Theoretically, it has a backing that, okay, the sign of a parameter of price has to be negative. Therefore, that of test has to be positive. Like that. That's it. Finding a theoretical relationship that allows for that. Then we have the estimation techniques. For you to have estimation techniques, because chapter 3 is all about showing you how you go about answering that question. If you remember in chapter 1, you have an overview of what you are going to do. Okay, you have a question, you want to answer it, you have a hypothesis, you want to test it. Then chapter 2, you have a theoretical review, conceptual review, empirical review. What others have done, what concept means in your work, what theories have said regarding that relationship. So now chapter 3 is showing, okay, this is how I am going to test those hypotheses. This is how I'm going to answer those hypotheses. This is how I am going to do it. How you are going to do it, you are going to get data. Okay, this is why the data I'm going to get. You stated the data, the sources of the data. This is the method I am going to use to test the hypothesis, to estimate the parameters. For you to do that, you are guided by the theories, you are guided by the data, you are guided by the question. For example, your questions are qualitative in nature. Let's say you just want to know the let's say you are talking of the understanding of like why economic students have math phobia, or why economic students let's say they are good in maths. This is you trying to find a behavioral question that, okay, you want to ask, because all it's expected that all economic students
like are maths gurus, but most of us are not. So you want to ask, how are they passing those maths, although they are not maths gurus? This is an individual question. It's not a data that you get from MBS or CBN or World Bank. This is a data that you have to go one by one and get it. So that kind of question that you want to answer, it will direct you to know, okay, this is the method of data collection I'm going to use, this is the sources of data I'll use, this is the methodology I'm going to use to test, this is the statistical techniques I will use to test those statistics. For example, if you are using qualitative data, you're going to use logic and probability. If you are using quantitative data, it depends. Is it a unit, a single variable? Is it a linear relationship? Is it a time series? Is it a pool data? Is it a categorical data? All those things will guide you in knowing, okay, which model am I going to use? Which technique am I going to use to test those hypotheses? Then you have justification of estimation technique. If you choose, let's for example now, I've chosen to use ARDL. Why do I choose to use ARDL? I have to give a justification because there are other series of techniques that can solve that. Why am I using that? Because one funny thing about all these econometric techniques is the failure of one that gave birth to another. Is the failure of this one will give birth to another. Haka, that's how it has been going. So therefore, why are you not using OLS? You are using DOLS. Why are you not using OLS? You are using GMM. You have to justify. No, because my data speaks. My data is why are you using VECM, not OLS? No, it's because my data is all integrated in order one. That's why I'm using this. No, because my data is co-integrated. That's why I'm using this. So like you need to keep that justification for choosing a method. Then you have the nature and sources of data. This is where you state the nature of your data. Okay, your data is a time series data. You collected it from World Bank. You collected it from CBN. You collected it from World Bank Development Indicators. Wherever you got your data, you have to show that, okay, this is the variable, this is the data, this is why I'm using it. This is the source that I've gotten it. Then you have a variable measurement. For example, remember in your conceptualization and contextualization, for example, you want to measure economic growth and you proxy it by, let's say, real GDP. So here you are going to show that, okay, my variable, real GDP, economic growth is proxied by real GDP, and this is how it is measured. Okay, is it the GDP all over the deflated GDP minus the inflation, or no, minus the inflation. So that's it for the variable measurement. So I think with this, I've just given you a revision. It's not a new thing. It's something that you have done in class. So for me, this is just a revision. I'm open for questions. Thank you.
So thank you so much, Ms. Safiya Isyaku. Please, before we continue, we have Malam Lawal Mustafa in our midst. Sir, we'll be honored to have you speak.
You're welcome, sir. Oh my God. You not tell me that my order is on the call.
Yes,
But
initially he wasn't planning to be on the call, but he said if he's fortunate to be present, he's going to join the call.
All right. Thank you very much, sir. We really appreciate.
Safiya, if I catch you,
Let me tell you something. He has been my tutor from 100 level to masters. So why can't I call him sir? He's my sir. He's my boss. And he's
So thank
oil
you so much,
money
sir,
now.
for being present.
And he's oil money now.
good evening, everyone.
Good
It's
evening,
an
sir.
honor to be here, and like I'm so happy to be here with my family. Actually, I've missed all of you. Actually, yeah. So there's whatever it is I want to say. And Sister Fia has said it, and I believe Ibrahim is going to do more justice to that. But then maybe after maybe Safiya is done, maybe Ibrahim is done, and they've answered the necessary question, maybe I can chip in one or two things also. But I think they are doing a very good job. And yeah, that's just it. Yeah, so I'll just hold on for them to finish. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir.
All right.
So please, moving forward, if you have any question for Miss Safia, you can indicate, please, or you can write it in the comments. Please, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, if you have any question, please raise your hand.
This is serious. I'm expecting
I
question
can't
like,
even. Wow.
are you people really
So
ready for this?
if they don't have any questions, so I have. Let me favor myself here. So my question is when it comes to let's say the distribution of supervisors and choosing of
I
project
think
topics.
yes, it's not like they don't have questions. Most of them don't know how to use the.
Oh my God. Please, before you speak, kindly indicate.
Yes, sir, are you there?
Oh, sorry. Please, Tohib Muhammad, you can speak. I can see you raising your hands. Please, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
All right. So, Tohib Muhammad,
Yeah, I'm on the call. Yeah.
please
So
raise your hands down and speak.
in chapter two, you talk about reviewing literature, right?
Yes.
And then you said in the chapter three, mostly we focus on the methodology, where we need to show how we are going to get our sources of data and the likes. So
Yes.
what I want to ask now is, in the literature review, we are going to review empirical literature, conceptual frameworks, and theoretical frameworks, right?
Yes.
So is it from those sources we are going to deduce, like look at the what they use as their sources of data, how they present it? Is it from there that we can now then deduce how we are going to collect our own sources of data and how we will present it? So that's my own question.
All right. Thank you very much. The thing is, literature review will guide you to know what has been done in the field or what has been done in that particular topic you are working on. So it will help you to avoid unnecessary duplication. For example, I have already worked on make it, what is it called? Sorry, the relationship between PMS price and economic growth in Nigeria from 1990 to 2022. So there is no point of you coming and doing the same work, just the same as I did, unless you want to change the methodology. Yes, for example, now you can still replicate my work. That okay, I want to work on this, but let me try. She uses ARDF. Let me try using another methodology and technique and see whether it will still give the same answer or not. So when you are coming to that, you can use the same sources of data I use because you want to replicate my work using different different technique. And you can use the same, you can use my work as a guideline, not necessary to do exactly as I did, but it can guide you that since okay, you want to use PMS data, so where was my source? You can still go there and get it. You get, it will give you it will guide you, not necessarily to copy, but it will give you the insight. For example, the conceptual framework, it will guide you, okay, this is what you are doing in this is how people have been doing it. So you can come up with another dimension that I want to try it from other perspective because I have seen what others have done. You get? Hope I answered your question.
Yeah,
Ridwan
perfect.
Muhammad
Sounds
Kabir, I
good
can
to me.
see your hand raised up. Ridwan Muhammad
Anyone?
Kabir, you can speak now. Please, does anybody has any question? You can indicate by raising your hands. Any more questions, please?
Okay. So I reserve one particular I reserve something just for you to ask question about it, because I walk you through the topic, how to come up with topic, literature in chapter 1, chapter 2, and chapter 3. But I missed something and I'm expecting you to ask that question. Ridwan is back, please. Let him ask this question.
So I can see Malan Law Mustafa raising his hand again.
Maybe you can just continue.
Yes. The thing is, sorry, it's just a suggestion. I believe there are questions on ground, but then maybe when they have the full knowledge about the whole research, maybe after Ibrahim's presentation, they can now keep asking the question, and Safiya and Ibrahim can answer them simultaneously. It's just a suggestion.
So the session will be over in less than 10 minutes, so we can join the second link. But before then, Mr. Ibrahim, are you ready? Let me introduce you. Mr.
Yeah,
Ibrahim Tajudeen, are you there?
yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, sir.
Okay, you can go ahead.
So do we need any introduction?
So,
Yes, please, we need one.
All right.
He's my Oga.
So Mr. Ibrahim Tajudeen is a bright economics graduate from Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria. He has hands-on experience in venture capital, finance, and development, working with startups across Africa and the Middle East. He has gained exposure at places like the World Bank Treasury in Washington, D.C., and Sankore Securities, where he sharpened his skills in market analysis and investment strategy. Ibrahim has also made his work in global competition as the IMF Fund Challenge Researcher and CFA Research Challenge, and was named Nigeria's Outstanding Economics Student of the Year 2021. He's passionate about leadership, innovation, and sustainable growth, the kind of economics who turns ideas into real growth. Mr. Tajudeen, the floor is yours now. So we have like less than 10 minutes. So please, once we are done with this session, we can quickly join the second link and continue.
all right. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
So let me start with this. My personal greeting to our guy on the call, Mustafa. So Safiya said something like, Mustafa, let's say, is a grand mentor, and let's say teacher. He has been with us since 100 level. So we are fortunate to meet him in school. So we're in 100 level. He was in final year. And since after his graduation also, he has always been with us through thick and thin till we left ABU Zaria. So it's my pleasure to be here, guys. And I'm really happy seeing the kind of turn up coming out from this class. I was shocked joining by 8:30, and I can see over 20 people on the call. So that speaks about the punctuality of you guys, and I will implore every one of you to keep it up. I don't think in the past, if any sets have had this kind of maybe intro to research virtually, yeah, I know we had some things around this, but not in our 300 level. Yeah, so it's something impressive. So kudos to the NESA team and as well the participants. So Safiya, but wait again. I feel like you guys are wicked. I don't want to be too serious so that you guys can easily relate with me. You went to go and bring a BGS, and you'll have looked for maybe another BGS. You have two BGS. You now go and bring with BGS, and again, you didn't put me first. So to come and speak after BGS now, that would be a problem. But anyway, you just have to accept me like that, yeah. So straight to the topic. So she has done justice to chapter 1 to 3, and I will just be taking chapter 4 and 5. I will try and make it a bit practical, and try to also drive in with some analogy. The essence of this call is not to make you a pro in research, but what we want to do is just for you to have a perfect introduction, and as well understanding, and also to prepare your mindset, because by this time next year you guys are out of the university. So in your final year you must pass through this. And one thing I used to tell people is that for everything you want to do in life, mindset matters a lot. A lot of people, they approach their final year research with, let me say, lackadaisical attitude and a kind of mindset that is not good enough. As a result of that, you're unable to take something solid out of it, even if they have a good grade. Forget about the grade. Grade is nothing. Yeah, it's something, but it's still nothing. Because what's the essence of the grade you have without having any value addition to yourself as a person? Do you get? So in that case now, I'm not really big on maybe, okay, if I tell you this now, I'm very sure my supervisor is going to do justice, and I'm sure Safiya can relate. My supervisor will do justice to all these things in your class. Perhaps he has done it, or he will still do it in your first semester. And that's, you guys want to know my supervisor, don't worry. You'll be lucky to have my supervisor as your supervisor. So the chapter
Don't
4.
pray. Don't pray to have his supervisors. Don't pray to have his supervisor at all.
So we can all
So,
see the breakdown of
Mr. Ibrahim, the call will be up in 2 minutes. So
in
I've
2 minutes.
posted the link
Okay,
to
should
the
we
next
just go
session
and come back?
in the comments. No, you can
Okay.
continue talking till it ends. So the link is on the comment section, so we can join and continue after 2 minutes.
Okay.
Just continue talking. I'm enjoying it.
So what we have now is
But don't start the topic. Just discuss.
okay. So we have, as you can see on the screen, we have introduction, we have the descriptive statistics, unit truth tests, bound F test for co-integration, long run and short run estimates, and the last one should be long run and short run analysis, under which you are going to have your discussion of findings and everything. But one thing you should note that this particular order is not casted on stone. You might see some people that have something slightly different from this. Yes. So you can see maybe introduction and you see trend analysis, it's still fine, And again, sometimes the kind of data you are using will also determine what you are going to have in your chapter 4. You know, during my time, I used the secondary data. So I believe people using primary data, which on my own, I believe is stressful. But if you are using primary data, perhaps you don't have any business with unit root tests, co-integration tests, I don't know. But I feel like you don't have any business with those, what's it called? A statistical package or analysis. You don't have business with that. So you have, maybe you'll be doing more of descriptive analysis, media mode, all those things, you know. So, and that's it. So you should just have it at the back of your mind that the fact that you see this does not mean we don't have other things. So it varies based on what you choose as your data. Your data will guide you. And that's why the first three chapters Safiya has introduced is very important to your chapter 4. So going forward is okay. To start with is more of okay, your chapter 4 now, you just, the introduction is not something big or something special. You just introducing what you want to do in chapter 4. So basically it's more of okay, it is that stage where you are going to test your data. Do you get? You know, Safia mentioned something on a priori expectation. So that one, you are just forming it based on your own expectation, your prior knowledge. But sometimes, oftentimes, people tend to say something, okay, let me just coin something now. Let's say the impact of kaftan wearing in Ahmadu Bello Zaria on the performance of female students in ABU. So now I'm coining my own research topic. Do you get? Yeah, it might not be that economical, but we can link it. Hmm? So now, if you want to talk about it, you can say, okay, the fact that the guys wear all these big kaftan on Friday, it affects the focus of the ladies in ABU. Do you get? So if you want to make, let's say you want to do that kind of research now, you have to determine your variables. What's your independent and what's your dependent? So beyond that, now you have your data. You look at, okay, which data do I want to use to measure this? So when you now have that data, you can't just say based on your own thinking. No, you have to get the data and test the independent variable vis-a-vis the dependent variable. You get using some statistical analysis. So the one we are more familiar with in ABU, and let me say at this level, is EViews. You get, many of our lecturers we use EViews, and I will also recommend to the leadership of NESA to also organize maybe a session, hands-on session on how to use EViews for statistical analysis. You get. So let me show you.
All right, please, sir, can we join this second link?
Okay, okay.
All right. Please, it's on the comment.